chilly night in San Francisco. Tyler Chatwood will have the baseball. Rockies trying to snap an 8-game road losing streak. And I can't think of a better pitcher to snap it than the guy who has the lowest road ERA among starting pitchers in all of baseball.
Yeah, and he's coming off a pretty good start down in L.A. where he goes 6 innings, 5 hits, just 2 earned runs in that affair. And you're right, Drew, for his last start of the year for Tyler Chatwood as we wind this season down, he's the guy that says you want him to be that road warrior, which he's been all year long. ERA 188. That's a minimum of 12 starts. It would also be the top in all of baseball if he had enough games, but he missed some, obviously, with the back. But Tyler Chatwood this year, you're not only talking about the ERA, you're talking about a batting average that is below 200 out on the road, a slugging percentage below 300, getting a lot of strikeouts, getting ground ball outs, and just totally dominating and not giving up many home runs out on the road. But he's going to have to need it tonight because you're going up against a Giants team that we saw what they could do offensively last night, and they got a tough guy going tonight in Samardzija.
They broke out last night.
Yeah.
I mean, they pounded the baseball. They've not been swinging it well. It was inevitable at some point they're going to swing it like they can. They have a lot of good guys in that lineup, clearly. Jeff Samardzija's taken the baseball. You kind of alluded to him. His last 2 outings, he's given up just 1 run. He seems to have found something. He's going to a curveball more frequently than at any time in the past.
And that's the key. His off-speed pitches between his curveball and maybe his split finger, that has really helped Samardzija the last 8 or 9 starts. But going up against Colorado, you see the numbers in 3 starts, 1-1 with a 2.38 ERA. The interesting thing about that is 2 of the starts were in Colorado, 1 out here in San Francisco, but he's gone at least 7 innings in each of these starts. Now, a couple of them, you think back to those, they got a little bit of traffic to him early, and then he settled down and he just kind of rolled with it. And there's one of those big 3 that they're counting on as they're trying to make that last push to the wild card.
Well, DJ LeMahieu's not in the lineup tonight. Don't worry, DJ's perfectly fine. He's 2 points up on Daniel Murphy in the batting race. Once again, Murphy not playing tonight for the Nationals. He's got a muscle strain, as we were talking about, in the glute. And I think Wall is going to be judicious, much probably to the dislike maybe of DJ, but he wants to try to protect him as much as he can to help him win a batting title. Last night he was 1 for 4.
I like this, and I know some people are going to say, well, you know, you think back to DiMaggio and all these other guys. No, but DJ has earned this because he's played a lot of games. The advantage that they have is Washington is 3 time zones away right now, 2 time zones when we get back to Denver. So you're going to know prior to the lineups coming out whether Murphy is in there or not, and then you can kind of massage the lineup how you want.
Listen, it took close to 160 games to get to where you are right now. That is not, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think anybody in baseball inside the game thinks there's anything wrong with that. So the Rockies getting ready for the Giants, again trying to snap an 8-game road losing streak. Tyler Chatwood, Jeff Samardzija. Colorado and San Francisco. Come on back to AT&T Park with us. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the 2016 Toyota Tundra and your hometown Toyota stores. And by Southwest Airlines. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. There's the Bay Bridge, not too far from where we're situated in China Basin at 24 Willie Mays Plaza. And there's another Willie McCovey. Willie McCovey Cove as the Rockies and Giants meet for the 18th time this year. They'll play tomorrow night to conclude the season series. The Rockies trail 9-8 in the season series as Jeff Samardzija, the former Notre Dame All-American wide receiver, makes his way to the AT&T mound. Charlie Blackmon's going to lead things off for the Rockies this evening. Charlie 3 for 14 lifetime against Samardzija, whose nickname is the Shark. And here's the Southwest batting order. Mentioned that DJ LeMahieu's going to sit this one out, so Daniel Descalso will bat in that 2 spot behind Charlie Blackmon. Then Cargo will bat 3rd. Nolan 6 for 16 lifetime against the Shark. David Dahl next. Gerardo Parras at first base. He's hitting .375 with a home run against Samardzija. Christian Adames at shortstop. Tony Walters behind the plate, batting 8th, and then Tyler Chatwood. Jeff Samardzija pitching very well of late. In fact, over his last 9 starts, he is a .240 ERA.
And a 3-2 record and a .222 batting average against for Samardzija. His ERA going into August 5th, prior to that, was a .440. Looking at Samardzija and where he has added has been that curveball, as you touched on a moment ago, Drew, and also the split finger. He's not afraid to throw that split finger in a 3-2 count, because that's not what he used to be. He used to be always fastball, maybe a cut fastball when it was 3-2 and the money was on the line. He said, no, I can go to some off-speed pitches.
Yeah, he's moved a little bit away from that cut fastball of late. We'll see if it plays out that way this evening. So we're ready for baseball. The Rockies fell last night 12-3. They had 8 hits offensively, scored a couple of runs in the 9th, but the Giants hit the ball all over the ballpark last night, pounding out 19 hits. First pitch of the ball game's outside ball 1 from Samardzija. Charlie in the game yesterday was 0 for 4. He did have an RBI ground out. So his next ribby will be number 80, sitting on 28 home runs. And this is a high fly ball to left. Angel Pagan is out there and he makes the catch. Here's San Francisco defensively. In the outfield, it's Pagan, Span, and Spence. Connor Gillespie, your picture, he's at 3rd base. Crawford panic up the middle. Brandon Felton's at 1st, and once again it's Buster Posey behind the plate. 55 degrees our game time temperature. Last night it was 65. It's cooled off in a hurry because the temperature was in the low 90s again today, which is really unusual for the Bay Area, at least in the city portion of the Bay Area. You get out away from the water and it gets quite a bit hotter. 0-1 on Descalso. .270 average for Daniel. Grew up not all that far from here. 0-2.
The guys were commenting about how cool it was even during batting practice today. They were saying, man, the difference between just yesterday and today and what it means trying to keep your hands warm and your legs loose.
Fastball's inside at 93. 1-2 on Descalso, getting the start tonight at 2nd. Most of his starts really all year have come at shortstop, especially since the injury to Trevor Story.
I always found it was easier to transition from shortstop over to 2nd than it was going the other way, just because of the difference in throws.
That looked like the cutter. 1-2. 9th start at 2nd base this year for Daniel. 200 career games over there on the right side. And I don't know what that was. Was that a changeup or a split that was up?
That was a split that just ran away. It didn't go down.
Had weird action on it, but he gets a strikeout.
86 miles an hour. You know what? That might have been a backup slider with that grip, looking at it from that angle right out of the glove.
Yeah, it wasn't a split.
No. Just the fingers were too close together.
Cargo 4 for 23 lifetime against Samardzija, batting .295. His next RBI will be number 100. When he gets to this time of year, Jeff, and it's hard to avoid some of the personal goals. You know, you always want to think team first, and not that you're not, but I think some of the individual goals creep into your mind a little more prominently when there is no possibility to go to the postseason.
I mean, you're human. So you can look at some of these individual ones. I mean, you talked about Charlie.
Cargo not pleased with Mark Wegner. He didn't like either call, to be honest with you. He thought both pitches were up.
Yeah, but it's right at the mask. And it did catch just the top portion of the Subaru strike zone. But anyway, to finish that thought, I mean, you talked about it with Charlie. If he gets one more RBI, he's at 80. For Cargo, one more RBI, he's at 100. That's a big milestone. I mean, for Cargo to be the second time in his career he's had over 100 RBI, 100 or more RBIs. And yeah, you're still trying to do it within the context of team.
2-2. And this is popped up behind the plate. Posey not going to have a play. Nor did that fan. Made the play like Bob Uecker. Wait till it stops rolling, go over and pick it up. It's a sensible way to do things.
When you don't have a glove, it's real sensible. Why am I going to risk breaking a finger for a, what is it? How much does a Major League Baseball cost?
Probably $9, $10 now,
I was going to say $10. So
listen, for his $9 baseball, he knocked over like $30 worth of food.
So
fries,
there's fries
and a
beer. So yeah, that's
not an even trade.
That's not. So you get a $10 baseball, but that probably costs you $18 in food.
At least. That looked like the splitter, and it's a 1-2-3 beginning for Jeff Samardzija as he strikes out Descalso and Cargo. Look before always adds to the intrigue of this beautiful Northern California city. One of the great cities of the world with Jeff Huson and Ryan Spilborghs. I'm Drew Goodman. Denard Span will lead it off. Tyler Chatwood has completed his warm-up pitches. Here's the Southwest batting order tonight for Bruce Bochy. Very similar lineup to last night. You don't see teams change a lot when you knock out 19 hits. Belt, Posey, Pence, Crawford, Angel Pagan, Joe Panik, Connor Gillespie. And a good athlete, Jeff Samardzija, batting ninth. Buster Posey's 1,000th career hit last night was a home run against German Marquez. Chatwood looking for his 12th victory, and he's always pitched pretty well against San Francisco.
10 career starts, 4-3 with a 3.32 ERA, but the last two, even better. 12 innings pitched, just one earned run, and you know what you're going to get from Tyler. It's going to be a lot of fastballs and a lot of sliders tonight. Not sure who called timeout there. Must have been Span. But 92, and the thing for Tyler too is he's also increased his velocity throughout the season on that fastball. It's gone from 90, 91, but he can touch 94, 95 when he wants to rear back and get a little extra.
Yeah, in his last outing, we saw quite a few 95s.
I still think it's so remarkable what Tyler's been able to accomplish this year after missing the 2 previous years, basically, and having 2 Tommy John surgeries in his career.
He's making his 27th start, to underscore your point. He's dealt with, some back issues at times this year, but the arm is really sound. He's going to move over 160 innings tonight. It's been a great season all in all for Tyler Chatwood. Next year will be even further removed from the Tommy John, his second Tommy John. 2-2, that fastball a little bit low.
But 95 miles an hour on that last one.
And Span hits it sharply to right field for a base hit. We got a slider. Brandon Belt coming up. Look at the road ERAs all time for Rockies pitchers. Chatwood is way out in front with the lowest road ERA in club history, minimum of 12 starts away from Coors Field. Jhoulys Chacín next at 244 back in 13. Ubaldo in that great season of 2010 fashioned to 263.
The mighty Bo on that one. Bohannon, Brian Bohannon.
Brian Bohannon. And that was before the humidor at home. Obviously, road parks haven't changed how they store the baseball. Brandon Belt had a big night last night. He's a guy you don't want to throw down in the zone to. Typically, you say you want to stay down, but his swing path, he does damage down in the zone. When you elevate against him, that's when he struggles. Last night, double, triple, single, 3 for 5.
And all 3 of those, he had 2 curveballs that were down, and then they came down and in with the fastball that he ripped for the single. Or excuse me, the triple was the fastball down and in.
Oh, nasty slider, and he strikes out Brandon Belt. 1 gone.
And that is the pitch that he was trying to throw to Denard. The same slider that he threw right here to Brandon Belt. That is unhittable. I don't care who you are, what you're doing, how well you're going. He threw it in an unhittable spot.
Yeah, you tip your cap. You don't feel bad after that one if you're Brandon Belt.
No, because you had a couple fastballs prior to that to think about putting in play. Then Tyler made his pitch.
Here's Posey. He gets a hard sinker for a strike at 92. He just snuck this one over the left field wall last night.
It was just his 3rd home run in the second half, but that's career hit number 1,000 for Buster.
Last Giant to produce his 1,000th hit in a Giant uniform where all of the hits were with San Francisco was 2003, Rich Aurelia. Posey in his career has hit .355 against the Rockies, which is the highest batting average of any active player who's played 100+ games against Colorado. Good block by Walters. Span made a little bit of a move to go on the dirt ball, but Tony's so good at blocking the baseball, and he's so quick.
That's the key, the quickness to get out of after blocking it. Okay, the block's great, but then the pop up out of there and glove it is you got to worry about the feet of Buster Posey.
Well, he did the right thing. You go right through him.
Yeah, just kind of knock him out of the way.
Yeah.
It's like a candlestick night here tonight. You got some fog rolling in. You got the flags blowing. Guys trying to stay warm, jumping around.
Yeah, that shot right there with the fog, you can see it in front of the lights. It gives you an idea about the evening. That misses, so it's 3-1. It is not an atypical.
You know what? I hope Spilly's staying warm down there tonight.
Well, Spilly had to come up here for shelter late last night when it was 65. And
I'm worried about it.
It's 10 degrees cooler tonight, and he'll probably be here in the top of the second inning. 3-1, and this ball is hit in the air to center field. Span was going, and he jogs back the other way. Charlie makes the catch, 2 outs. Here the Rockies defensively. David Dahl's in left, Blackmon in center, and in right field, Carlos Gonzalez. A little different up the middle. Adames at short, Descalso at second for DJ. Parra's playing first, Nolan at third, of course, and Tony Walters behind the plate. That'll bring up Hunter Pence. He too hit a home run last night. It was his 13th of the year.
Well, this was part of that 5th inning where he went back to back with Buster Posey. Posey's at the top of the wall, but Pence's was 4 rows deep. Part of a 4-run 5th inning for the Giants to kind of open up that big lead.
There goes Span. Walters throw on the bag, out at second base. Well done, Tony Walters. And a nice tag applied by Daniel Descalso. That'll end the inning. And we'll go to the second, scoreless at San Francisco. Well done all the way around. Nolan Arenado, David Dahl, Gerardo Parra against Jeff Samardzija. Folks, when the Rockies score 7 runs or more in any game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day. Make sure you do it between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Live Mas at Taco Bell. So here comes Nolan. Resting on 40 home runs, 129 RBIs. We're talking about RBI milestones. Blackmon sitting on 79, Cargo on 99. Nolan last year drove in 130. Nice to eclipse that number. by a bunch. He's driven in more runs the last 2 years than anybody in the game. He takes ball 1. What a throw by Tony Walters. We timed that during the break. It's pop time. That's glove to glove. Ball hits his catcher's glove. He fires it to second and hits the guy covering's glove. 188, which is phenomenal in game.
Yeah, and that's like turning a double play. You just wanted to change directions in your glove, then got a little help down at second base from Daniel with the pick, but the quickness with which he gets rid of it to catch Denard Span for the 7th time this year trying to steal a base.
3-0 on Arenado. Major league average is a little bit beneath 2.
Yeah, but still, to get that ball, to transfer it to your hand, and then the arm strength to get it to second.
That's high, a 4-pitch walk to Nolan. So the Rockies have their initial base runner tonight with David Dahl coming up. David last night had a double in 4 trips. Actually, let me correct that, 3 trips. He was pinch hit for in the 9th with a lefty out there by Dustin Garneau. And the game basically out of reach. That's inside. So 5 straight out of the zone by Samardzija.
Samardzija just 54 walks in 198 in the 3rd inning zone on the season.
After the 3rd inning tonight, he'll have his 4th straight year of 200+ innings pitched. David's been so consistent. He's hitting .316 against righties. He's hitting .311 against southpaws.
And that's why you see him getting a few more starts against lefties. You're not saying, oh, we got to try to protect him. I haven't seen that bailout when he faces a lefty.
You know, we've spent a lot of time the last couple of series when the Rockies take on the Giants talking to an old friend of yours, Sean Dunston. And that's
Doesn't
what
he just make you laugh?
I mean, Sean is a very funny guy. He's a baseball treasure. He had a terrific career. This ball's hit pretty well to center field, but Span, this heavy air, will get back and make the catch. Tagging up is Nolan, and Nolan is going to move up 90 feet in a scoring position. Real headsy play by a guy who's not the swiftest guy in the Rockies dugout, and now he's at second base.
But
good read by Nolan.
I always say, to be a good base runner, you don't have to be a fast guy, but it's reading arms. You know, Span doesn't have a real good arm, a low average out in center field, where he catches the ball. He also has to spin and make the throw because he's catching it going away with his glove. So now it takes an extra half a second to get rid of the baseball.
That's why I love this game so much. There are so many subtle things from a cerebral standpoint that you have to understand and you have to pre-prepare for. So, I mean, that ball was you know, fairly deep left field, but it wasn't out on the warning track. But Nolan took all of those things into account, and now a base hit, and the Rockies likely take the lead. Here's Parra.
That's why you always, when you're talking to base runners, you always tell them, not only check the infielders, but check the outfielders. Know the arm strength of those guys. So it's automatic when that ball's up in the air. What am I going to do and how am I going to approach this?
1-0 on Parra, playing first base tonight. That's a strike on the outside corner. Finished that little story on David Dahl and Sean Dunston. Sean's been a special assistant here for a number of years. Makes his home in Northern California with his wife and 4 children. His son, Sean, is in pro ball now. And Sean and David kind of grew up together playing against each other and got to be good friends. That's fouled off. So David was in Northern California a couple of years ago working out at the Sparta Workout Facility, which is a well-known facility in Northern California. So he stayed with Sean and the Dunston family. So Sean refers to him as his second son, and David has a real close relationship with the Dunstons. And when he saw him yesterday, he gave him a big bear hug. And then Sean, when David ran off, said, boy, I think the world of that kid, and he's going to be a heck of a player.
Remember the other thing he said to him right when he's walking off? Stay back. He yelled that at him. Make sure you stay back. Just even though it's an opposing team, but that's what he said about Dave. And you know, baseball is intertwined, and these families are connected.
Yep, that's one of the real beautiful things about this sport. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Parra. And Samardzija with his 3rd strikeout. 2 outs. That'll bring up Christian Adames.
Let's go back to the Nolan base running, because this is a great teaching moment. So the ball is hit in the air. Nolan sees it. It's going to be caught. So he immediately goes back and tags. Now Span has to turn his body because he's going away. And then the relay throw, that extra second, allows Nolan to get into scoring position underneath the tag and the slide.
And now you have another shot at driving him in with Adames, who's 7 for 17 against the Giants this year. Christian takes a strike. Early in the ball game yesterday, he had a double and scored for the Rockies. That tied up the game. He scored on a Blackman ground out in the 3rd. He also had an RBI ground out late in the ball game. Looking for another ribby here. 2 strikes on Adames. It's the 117th game that Adames has played in this year. And what is his rookie year?
Has to wear many different hats. A lot of pinch hitting too for Adames.
And a foul tip held by Posey. So the Rockies leave Arenado at 2nd. 4 strikeouts and 2 innings of work for Samardzija. No score in San Francisco.
Work for Tyler Chatwood. It's been an incredible season for Tyler Chatwood, given the fact that this is his 2nd Tommy John surgery that he's coming back from. And part of the things that has been encouraging with Tyler Chatwood's recovery has been his ability to increase velocity. Pre-All-Star break, he's had some very good numbers. The strike percentage was up, fastball velocity about 91 miles an hour, slider. But since the All-Star break, he has gained strikeouts. He's also increased walks. He's not as effective with the strike zone. And part of the reason why is because you're looking at the big increase in fastball velocity and slider velocity. So for him now, it's all about harnessing that strike percentage. And Nick Hundley told me, he said, it's pretty impressive when you have a guy that's so athletic like Tyler Chatwood, because he has the ability to continue to get better. Obviously, we know 60% ground ball rate is incredible, but he does need to learn how to harness the new improved fastball that he's found. Guys?
Well, he's trying to harness it right now with Hunter Pence at the plate, and with a 2-0 count, he goes slider, 2-1. And he's thrown some good sliders already in this ball game.
And the thing for Tyler, the biggest thing he's going to take in and trying to harness all this stuff that Billy was talking about is he's going to go into this offseason with a large body of work behind him. So he's preparing for next year. It's not a rehab winter, which is huge.
Yeah, huge difference between rehabbing and training. To the guys that throw their fastball more than any other starting pitcher in the game. Colon, 89% of the time. Jay Happ, who won his 20th recently, so 73% of the time, and then Chatwood.
But the difference, so all three guys on the list below Colon all throw above 90, and a lot of them 92 to 95. Colon is less probably in velocity, about 86. 87, but he still throws it 88% of the time.
And he's got dramatic movement. And the Mets won tonight, not with Colon on the mound. They won 5-2 tonight. So they remain owners of the top spot in the wild card race. The Giants have the second spot in the wild card race. And the Cardinals, who are their closest pursuer, are losing 2-1 in the bottom of the 8th to the Reds. One and one on Brandon Crawford. Entering play today, here's what the wild card standings look like. Now the Mets victory is already posted, so they're 11 north of 500 at 85 and 74.
With that too, the Marlins and Pirates have been eliminated, so it's just 3 teams for 2 spots.
Good spot there for Chatwood. It's 1 and 2.
See a little tape on that left pinky. Some white tape where Crawford dislocated that pinky about a week ago now.
Well, it didn't affect him at the plate last night. 2 singles, 2 triples, 4 for 5.
Yeah.
Did he go? Yes, he did. So Crawford's gone, 1 out in the second. That'll bring up Angel Pagan, the switch hitter.
They asked Paul Nauert if he went. That check swing, you see how far the barrel, everything traveled. Not going to get a lot of argument from Brandon.
Pagan takes down low, ball 1.
What movement on that one.
At 94, 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's part of the difference I see with Tyler out on the road and at home. It seems like at home, when he misses, most of the time he misses and it's going to be up in the zone. Out on the road, tendency more to misses to be down in the zone.
It does seem that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
2-2. Slowly hit the second, probably can get just one.
Going back to the movement with Tyler Chatwood and the added velocity, I was asking Nick Hundley about it, and he was trying to give me a good reason for why the walk rate has gone up and the strikeout rate has gone up. He said, number one, just watch. There's not a lot of early contact off Tyler Chatwood. Guys aren't squaring baseballs up, and so when you have that type of movement, it gets you deeper into counts, and so that's part of the reason why, because no one's squaring him up. They're fouling him off so often that he's either walking him or striking him out.
Well, with 2 outs, Joe Panik's at the plate, with Pagan now at first. And there's that slider underneath the hands for a lefty.
He's got the feel of that tonight. We saw him strike out Brandon Bell. We saw the strikeout of Brandon Crawford on the check swing. And that is not a replay of the Belt strikeout. It was in the same spot, in the same spin. Excellent frame by Tony on that pitch.
Supple hands, quiet hands. Two-strike count on the product of St. John's, Joe Panik. And that snuck through the wickets on a slider. It'll be a wild pitch. Pagan to second.
This one I think Tony would like to have back. Just snuck through the 5-hole. Oh, take that back. That one hit in front of the plate. I thought it was behind the plate where it went. Tough chance to block it because you don't know if it's going to hit the plate, what it's going to do.
That's where his background as an infielder worked against him, Huey.
Yeah.
You want technically the hands on the ground and not to move your hands and try to field it.
Old habits are hard to break sometimes.
Sure, I mean, Tony was a middle infielder his whole life.
Oh, yeah, you know what? He's also pointing to the ground right in front of home plate. I looked at this during batting practice, and it is so soft out there. I mean, if they had
probably why it stayed down, right?
A mud bog or a tractor pole on it, they'd have a tough time getting out of there. That's how wet and moist that dirt is.
1-2. See, there's the quiet, subtle hands of Walters. You can't jerk a pitch back in the strike zone. Major League umpires aren't going to buy that, but just he works ground up with the glove, and he took a pitch that clearly was low and made it appealing.
So if you go back down there again, then maybe you get the call.
.95 on that fastball he raised in the zone.
Joe Panik's a tough guy to strike out.
Toughest guy in the National League, in fact.
Yeah, 11.1 is his strikeout rate per plate appearance.
In fact, if you go to the American League, he's the toughest guy to strike out. One of the reasons it's kind of amazing he's hitting in the 240s this year. Put the ball in play that much, figure you're going to get some leg hits and some soft singles somewhere.
He hit over 300 the previous 2 years.
2-2, he struck him out right there. Chatwood's got the swing and miss slider going. Pagan left at second base. We go to the third. No score at AT&T Park. That is strikeout number 3, all on this slider to lefties. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. The city of San Francisco. The Rockies and Giants scoreless. We go to the top of the third. Tony Walters will lead it off. Then it's Tyler Chatwood in the top of the order, represented by Charlie Blackmon. Jeff Samardzija is on the mound. We had our Toyota Talk takeover last night, taken over by the fans, and you all asked some great questions. And here's one that we didn't get to last night, so we're going to ask it tonight. What about Tony Walters is most improved? And Tony certainly deserves to be in that conversation. For a guy that had only played Double-A baseball in the past and not a ton of experience at that level, to make the jump at a new position and then to try to hit major league pitching, he's come a long way.
I just think back to early this year.
And look at this.
Right on cue, gets a base hit.
Tony with the Rockies' first knock.
The last 55 starts for Tony. I mean, he's just done everything that you could hope for. But the bat, to me, from where he started back in April to where it is now, is light years ahead.
Yeah, different player.
Yeah, because before it was just trying to survive, trying to just make sure I didn't embarrass myself. But now he's out there going, man, this is me. I belong.
Prior to that at bat, he's hit .325 in the second half.
12 RBIs.
Nothing to sneeze about. Chat will try to get a bunt down.
We think.
We think, because one of Walt's favorite plays, especially with a guy like Chatwood who can handle the bat, is the slug bunt. Put Walters in motion. Tony runs slightly better than average.
I think you might see him pull it back on this one. As hard as Connor Gillespie was charging at third, Brandon Belt charged at the last second. You saw Joe Panik start to go over to first base. A lot of holes, and when you try to slug bunt, all you're thinking about getting the ball down on the ground.
There goes Walters, and there's exactly what you called. He pulled it back, the slug bunt, he was out in front. And went off the end of the bat.
Yeah, because he threw him a breaking pitch.
Nope.
That's why he was out in front.
You read exactly what Stu Cole read. Tommy Runnels, they put it on. Let's see what they do here.
I think you still give him the option. That's the reason why you square around so early if you're Tyler, so you can try to read what guys are doing.
There goes Walters again, and once again, he tried to call it a butcher boy also, trying to hammer it into the ground. Key is you got to get it on the ground.
And try to stay away from right up the middle. That's the two things that you're looking for when you do that. Now Tyler, just bunt it towards first base, because I think Belt's going to get a later break with Tony. He's got good speed. This could be also one of those plays that they have where they'll throw over. The first baseman will take a break where he goes in, and he comes back to the bag, and then it's a timing play. The pitcher deliver the baseball just about the same time that the first baseman is breaking towards home.
And he bunted it foul, so that's a strikeout. So Walters still at first base. That's 5 strikeouts. First time through the lineup for Samardzija. Blackmon coming up. You had a fly ball to left. Fans, you can join in on the conversation. Send us your thoughts, questions. Use Twitter or Instagram. Must include the hashtag Toyota Talk to get involved. Mr. Steady, Charlie Blackmon. Missed some of April with an injury. Toe injury. He had .316 in May, .311 in June, .303 in July, .360 in August, and here in September he's hitting .325. I'd say that's pretty consistent.
You're talking about over 300 for 5 months. Yeah.
April, he played in just 10 games. And he hit
and
in hard luck.
Yeah,
remember
that series down in Arizona, the first maybe game at home.
I remember he was well into May, and he was putting up big numbers in May. Having a conversation with him, he said, I actually felt like I swung the bat better in April. Just had nothing to show
results.
for it.
But Charlie, true to himself, stayed with the process.
Look at that. He did not hit a home run in 27 games in July. And then in August, he went out and hit 11. He'd love to get to 30 home runs. We got tonight, tomorrow night, and then 3 at home against the Milwaukee Brewers. Major League Baseball approaching the possibility of a home run record this year. They also have broken the all-time single season record for strikeouts. Game's changed.
Well, there's not the stigma on strikeouts that there used to be.
And also, removed from the PED era, you've seen the ball fly out of the ballpark.
Well, you have guys that are throwing the ball harder. So you square a ball up at 90 miles an hour or a ball that's 95, 97, 98 miles an hour, it's going to travel further. So that's why you see the increase in home runs, but you also see the increase in strikeouts.
Makes sense. Blackman battling away, 0-2. Tony Walters with 1 out at first. We're scoreless in the 3rd. And that
foul ball.
was a foul ball. That hit the ground.
Buster Posey trying to sell it.
Yeah.
But you know what? Mark Wegner wasn't buying.
Yeah, it's pretty clear.
Buster, I got it. No, he did.
It's the only place it's acceptable to lie, huh?
So yeah, here it is. No, everybody saw it.
When you saw Bruce Bochy right there giving signs to Buster Posey, is that slide step versus and pick type?
Yes. Yeah, because he calls all the signs. A lot of times it's the bench coach. But for Boch, he's been doing it for so long. Former catcher says, I have this. This is still part of my DNA.
And the benches will call for a slide step time to time.
Throw overs. Yeah, all of the above. Hold the baseball. Buster keeps peeking over to first to see Tony. You're wondering what he's doing, looking behind Charlie. He's just trying to see what the lead is for Tony and how far off he is. And sometimes it's the last place they touch, first sign, hat, nose, ear.
He's involved with that railing also before his signage.
Yeah,
did you see that?
With the tap.
There goes Walters, swung on and missed. Posey to second, out at second base. It's a strike him out, throw him out, and that will end the inning.
It's the first time that Tony Walters has been caught stealing. Quite a throw from Buster, who's 36% on the season. We head to the bottom of the 3rd.
Coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Well, St. Louis just lost 2-1 in the bottom of the ninth at Busch. Colton Wong led off with a triple, and they could not cash that in to get the equalizer. So the Reds helped the Giants by beating the Cardinals 2-1. And now the Rockies will try to help the Cardinals by knocking off San Francisco.
If they don't make it, I'm sure there's going to be many games they look back on, but to have a runner at third base and nobody out, you can't get him in.
They had a ground ball to third. They had a fly ball to left, obviously not deep enough. And then Jed Jerko pinch hitting, grounded to third to end the ball game. Connor Gillespie at the plate with a 1-1 count against Tyler Chatwood. And Chatty gets ground ball, but past the diving Gerardo Parra. Third hit of the night, all singles for the Giants, and that'll bring up Samardzija.
Rockies dugout stores are the place for all things Rockies, and the only place you can get the Nolan Arenado Colorado Bobblehead Series. Got a couple hitting pitchers out there tonight. Tyler, and then this guy, Samardzija. 161, but he does have 9 RBIs on the season. Couple sack bunts.
That's a big number for a pitcher, 9 ribbies.
Especially when you got somebody on your team named Madison Bumgarner, who everybody talks about. He has 2 more RBIs than Madison. Adam Wainwright, Rocky saw him, had 4 RBIs now.
Wainwright actually has 18 RBIs because 2 have come in a pinch hitting role.
Max Scherzer with 8.
(2-0) on Samardzija. It's 3-0. Double play would be nice. The Chatty right now is behind 3-0 against a guy trying to bunt. That's in there, 3-1.
Barely caught the bottom of that Subaru strike zone with some help from Tony Wolters.
Runner going, swung on and missed, and an easy throw out for Tony Wolters. Good tag by Adames. Connor Gillespie's gone, 1 out.
Second time tonight that Tony has nabbed a would-be base stealer. This one was a little bit easier than the other one. Swinging through, that was a hit and run. And now it's a strikeout. 2 quick outs after they get, oh man, they got the leadoff hit. Down 3-0 to the pitcher, come back and 2 outs.
Yeah, it turned very quickly, didn't it? And that'll bring up Span. He had a base hit on a ground ball through the middle of the diamond.
Those 2 caught stealings tonight by Tony. He is now 32% on the season, 12 for 38.
That's excellent. In this day and age, that is really good. Curveball, first of the night. 0-1 on Span. Chatwood has the ability, I think, to have a better than average curveball. Gets a high spin rate on that breaking ball. Followed up with a mid-90s fastball. It's 0-2. Span over the last month hitting just 169. Chatty's in the driver's seat.
Sometimes with a guy that has a really good slider, that curveball is a little bit harder because it's a different release point, the way you have to hold that ball. You know, sometimes with the slider, you get that feel for it, but a curveball is more over the top with it. And so I think maybe that's why he doesn't throw it as much. Maybe just get me over curveball.
Here's the 1-2, and there's a curveball that he gets a strikeout on. Walters Tapara ends the inning. Nicely done, Tyler Chatwood. 3 strong innings thus far for Chatwood. He has 5 strikeouts. He's striking out some guys that don't fan that frequently either. He's hit 409 home runs. That's the first time, and he's been around a long time, obviously, to hit 409 home runs. That's the first time he's had a walk-off homer? That's interesting. All right, Daniel Descalso in the 4th inning. Daniel struck out swinging his first time. And he takes ball 1 from Jeff Samardzija. He did have a walk-off home run in the playoffs, Dougie's just let us know. That's his first, as Mark told us, in the regular season. Lifted foul and out of play. Speaking of home runs, how about this for the Rockies? Nathaniel wouldn't apply to this next number we're going to give you. The Rockies have hit 85 home runs from players that are 25 and under.
It's tied for 3rd most in the major leagues.
Exciting future for the Rockies. The 2 teams that have more home runs from guys 25 or younger, the Cubs and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Yasmani Tomas hit a bunch of home runs for them. This is in the air to left. Pagan is out there.
I thought, too, when you were going to home runs, I thought you were going to talk about Tim Tebow's home run today.
Tebow on the first pitch as a pro in instructional league, left on left, no less. It had to be an SEC thing because the pitcher he was facing in instructs was from Vanderbilt.
There you go. First pitch, left center field, gone.
Went deep. He was 1 for 6 on his first day in instructional league. Good for Tim Tebow. Cargo struck out on a splitter his first time. He's behind 0-1.
And he gets a splitter at the first pitch he sees.
then he got the express, and he fouled that back. Cargo just 5 for his last 26 at the plate. Trying to catch fire in the last few days of the season. Got a chance still, if he gets hot, to hit 300. He's going to have to put a nice little stretch together. This ball's well hit to left. This may help out. It is off the very top of the wall. And Cargo has his 41st double of the year. Among the league leaders in that department. It's an ongoing career high. And I'll tell you what, if the air wasn't so heavy, he'd be trotting around the bases.
Yes, indeed. And he would have that 100 RBIs that we were mentioning. The next closest guy now is Cargo having 41 is Nolan, who has 33 doubles. But Subaru Supermo, everything gets behind that ball, obviously, to hit it that far off the wall. It was within 1.5 feet of leaving the stadium, and then eventually Pagan just runs out of real estate.
So here's the RBI leader in Major League Baseball. Chance to drive in his 130th. Nolan at the plate with Cargo in scoring position. The only guys with more doubles in the National League: Daniel Murphy, 47, Anthony Rizzo and Freddie Freeman with 43. Look at those numbers with runners in scoring position. 354.
This is how close it was at the wall in left field on the Subaru Supermo. Pagan said, "Why? I thought I had a chance at this." Oh wow!
That's inches, man.
I thought it was a foot down from there, but no, that's inches from hitting the top of that padding and then bouncing up into the seats.
Broken bat flare. That'll get the job done. Here comes Cargo. Nolan has driven in his 130th as the Rockies take a 1-0 lead. He matches his total from a year ago.
He joined some select company with that RBI, home runs, and back-to-back years. And say, Nolan, tell us about the time you had 130 RBIs. Driving in Cargo, yeah, it was just a solid line drive. Well, maybe not. Maybe it was a broken hit to center. They all look the same, though.
Good read by Cargo.
Yeah, it was, but it's nice to get that early lead.
Well, that ribby put Nolan in really, one more really, select company. 2 seasons with 40-plus home runs, 130-plus ribbies through their age 25 season. All-time, Chuck Klein, Hall of Famer, Jimmy Fox, Hall of Famer, and A-Rod, a controversial career, but Hall of Fame numbers. And now Nolan Arenado. How about that?
The hardest thing to do in baseball is repeat what you did when you've had a great year the year before. And Nolan has done that, and he has a chance to exceed it some with the RBIs with 4+ games left now.
Dahl fouls it off. 1-2 count on David. It's also the 13th time a Rocky has had 130-plus ribby season. 3rd time it's happened in consecutive years. Big Cat 96, 97, Helton in 2000, 2001. This is the first time post-Humidor that it's happened. Called strike 3. David Dahl looking back at Mark Wegner. He thought that was in.
Well, they went back inside twice on the Subaru strike zone, pitch 3 and pitch 4. Right where Buster Posey had set up, but that's a tailing fastball that appears as a left-handed hitter that is going to be in, and it tails back, catches that corner.
Samardzija with 7 strikeouts. He struck out about a hitter an inning this year against the Rockies. He does not have a double-digit strikeout performance this year. Twice he struck out 9 in a game against Colorado. He got Parra in the 2nd inning.
When he had 9 strikeouts in his last start at San Diego.
7 innings of shutout baseball against the Padres for some margin. Giants went 2-2 down in Petco. Nolan at first, being passively held on by Brandon Belt. Belt's a full step off the bag. Crawford. In the inning, a double from Cargo, a base hit from Nolan Arenado, and the Rockies have a 1-0 lead for Tyler Chatwood in the fourth.
Out to a 1-run lead. We go into the bottom of the fourth. You can see David Dahl. Has his back against some fans. They're going to yell at him for majority of the game, and it's an experience with these AT&T ballpark fans, the most colorful in baseball that David Dahl has never experienced.
Yeah, it was fun. The atmosphere is crazy, and just to hear them talking like that, I thought it was pretty funny, but just focusing during the game, so try not to pay too much attention to it, but it's pretty fun. Someone mentioned my spleen, they mentioned where I went to high school, so they really did their research. It's pretty funny.
I brought the story up to him because when I would play left field here, all you would hear is, "What's the matter with Spilborghs?" And then the entire group would yell, "He's a bum!" And now David Dahl, after striking out last inning, is having to listen to that pretty much for the rest of the game. What's the matter with Goodman?
Well, Spilly, if you think about it, it didn't take exhaustive research when they were needling you.
Oh, no. In fact, it did take exhaustive research to figure out how to say my last name.
That part was the difficult part. Knowing you were a bum, though, I mean, come on.
It's always fun when you hear some of the effort, as David was talking about, as you've seen Spilly, as I've seen, but people, they really do some research on you. Spilly had another great story about what happened to him in Chicago too, and maybe we'll get to that later. But it's funny. These people know. Wikipedia has a lot of stuff there.
The Mets fan from years ago didn't even take the time to learn how to say Spilly's name. Fly ball to deep right, but Cargo's there. Posey is the second out of the inning.
So in Chicago, they'll say your name backwards. They'll say your name Scroblins would be my last name from the left field bleachers. And here in San Francisco, it is really enjoyable because they'll constantly ask you for a baseball. That's all they do. And then when you do throw them a baseball, they go, "Why'd you throw us the ball? You're on the wrong side." So everything about this ballpark, it feels condensed. It feels like the fans are right on top of you, but when you have colorful fans like the Giants have, it makes the game so much more enjoyable. You ask any of these guys out here, they'll tell you it's my favorite. They love playing here because of the playoff type atmosphere that's consistent.
Well, tonight is their 485th consecutive sellout. Pence takes a strike. And we have told you many times over the last few years, it's Walt's favorite place to bring a club. And yeah, you got to bundle up at night, but it's going to be a great atmosphere. It's a great environment. The fans are into the game. They're into every pitch.
They're knowledgeable.
And they're very knowledgeable, and you know you're going to face a high-quality team. And the Rockies have performed well here the last several seasons against the Giants.
Well, those are easy games to get up to for a player. When you got 40,000+ fans screaming at you, you know it brings your energy level up.
We hear fans, or excuse me, opposing players, swung on a miss 3-2, talk about enjoying being at Coors Field because there's always a large crowd at Coors Field, and there's an energy there.
There is. And
you know, if you're in the if you're in the bullpen, Billy was talking about proximity to the fans out there. If you're in the bullpen,
be careful.
You become close neighbors with the fans down the right field line.
Talk about.
Well, a lot of the times, and I've spent so many games at AT&T Ballpark on the bench that I could listen to the fans when visiting bullpen starts warming up, and they do the same thing. It's annoying, and they do it in college too. When a pitcher throws the ball, they go whoop, and then when they throw it back, they go woo. And no matter how hard guys are throwing it, it's frustrating.
Frustrating now for Hunter Pence, trying to catch up that mid-90s fastball. Strikeout number 6 for Tyler Chatwood, his final start of the year. He's been brilliant so far. 1-0 Rockies. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Rockies leading the Giants 1-0. A cargo double, a single by Nolan Arenado. Voila, you have the one-run lead. And there is a Rockies fan, a couple Rockies fans amidst the black and orange here in San Francisco.
They were smart. They put hoodies on underneath their jerseys.
Christian Adames. Got to stay warm here. By the way, Spilly, how you doing down there? Staying warm?
I'm fine. No, it's nice down here. I can't wait until there's a hot chocolate guy that comes by, Ghirardelli's chocolate, and they're going to put like a pound of whipped cream. So I'll warm up in a little bit, but I'm also going to get a pretty good sugar buzz. Got that to look forward to.
One ball, one strike. There he is. How far away is he?
He's a couple rows over. I'm still waiting for him.
We hope he runs out by the time he gets
there. It is. There it is.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Oh, he's running out of whip. He goes through like, listen. Oh, that was just a small.
Like yesterday.
That wasn't like, no, not at all. The guy yesterday was going through the ready whip with 2 hot chocolates. He had to
Just
break out another can.
Just keep pouring it on.
Look at,
okay, this is the difference.
I like this guy.
That's the guy I'm looking for.
Yeah,
he is the man.
I like that guy.
That is.
You're getting your money's worth with that guy. That's a splitter away, looked like, and that is strikeout number 8 as Adames goes down. That'll bring up Tony Walters, who had a single his first time.
What are we doing?
He just, you know what? He's a little more conservative.
Maybe it's the lid on top. You got to make sure it all fits.
You should have the option. Spilly, go without the lid.
Tony thought that curveball was up.
Two strikes on Tony. Sliders down and in, 1-2.
With the split. Wow. That splitter working tonight. Samardzija.
That is 9 strikeouts, which matches his season high.
They changed the grip with the split. He used to have it really jammed back into his fingers, and now they kind of loosened it up a little bit. It got a little bit more out on the fingertips.
Chatwood takes a fastball in. Off the plate, 2-0. Season series is San Francisco's won 9 and the Rockies have won 8. The Rockies trying to win the season series for the 3rd straight year. 3-0 on Chatwood. Last year 10-9, 11-8 in 2015. Three and 1.
Like what Tyler did to Samardzija. Fell behind 3-0, then 3-1.
May take another strike. He did. 3-2. And Samardzija with his 10th strikeout, he fans the side, but the Rockies have a 1-0 lead. Middle of 5 in San Francisco. In San Francisco with Jeff Houston and Ryan Spilborghs. I'm Drew Goodman. The Rockies leading 1-0. It was a Cargo double in the fourth, followed by a Nolan Arenado single, and Tyler Chatwood's throwing up zeros on the other end. He'll face Brandon Crawford, Angel Pagan, and Joe Panik.
It's kind of what we thought might happen tonight. It was part of our open, talking about both starting pitching. What Tyler Chatwood has done out on the road this year was 7-1 with a 1.88 ERA, and Jeff Samardzija in 3 starts against the Rockies had given up coming into the game 6 earned runs in 22 2/3 and had struck out 23 guys.
Brandon Crawford takes up high. He struck out his first time. Crawford with a 4-hit game yesterday. Second time this year he had 4 hits in a game. The other time, wow, what a game. On August 8th down in Miami, in a 14-inning ball game, he had 7 hits. Remember Rennie Stennett growing up was 7 for 7 in a ball game for the Pirates.
So in back-to-back nights, we've gotten Rennie Stennett and Manny Sanguillen into the broadcast.
2 ex-Pirates who had nice careers. Manny Sanguillen in particular. Remember that. One of the things about Sanguillen, a couple of things. He ran really well. Used a huge bat.
Oh, big bat. Another strikeout for Tyler Chatwood. Second time tonight he struck out Brandon Crawford swinging. The first time it was a slider. This time he just challenges him with that fastball and blows it by Brandon Crawford. We talked about all the strikeouts for Samardzija. That's number 7 for Tyler. When after Tyler got the lead, he just has come out dominating. In the 4th inning, quick 1-2-3, and then the first guy here in the 5th. 68 pitches for Tyler, 43 for strikes. Just another routine play by Nolan over at third, but there was nothing routine about that. He just kind of sneaks over there, and whenever you catch the ball behind you like Nolan did, so watch where his glove is, so it's behind, it's easier to spin and do the 360 to make the throw to first base. If you catch it out in front, then you just pivot the feet and throw that way, but Nolan's just done it so long and so graceful.
2 outs, nobody on. Joe Panik takes his turn. And that's a strike at 94. Boy, Chatwood has got it going on tonight.
It's so much fun to watch.
Not a lot of fun to hit against.
No, it's not. That's why I'm not hitting anymore. Because I still have nightmares about that.
That is a good old-fashioned hard sinker. Panik struck out his first at bat. They want the fastball up. That's a strike stolen by Tony Walters.
Yeah, you had the Subaru strike zone, but the hand up, the thumb up. So he just brings it and closes it. Thumb up, close it, and hold it.
2-2. Billy earlier was talking about how in the second half the velocity is up. You mentioned that as well earlier, and you can see it tonight. There's been a whole bunch of 94s, 95s. One pitch as high as 96. 2-2 and a one hopper to Parra, and he'll jog to the bag. A 1-2-3 fifth inning. 8 straight retired by Chatwood. The Rockies leading 1-0. They'll have the top of the order in the 6th. CenturyLink high-speed challenge poll question, our final poll question from CenturyLink this season. Before Nolan did it this year, who was the last Rockies player to record 100 or more RBIs and score 100 or more runs in the same season? Was it Cargo? Was it Matt Holliday? Was it Todd Helton? You can vote at RootSports_RM. Golden State Warriors blanket. And a 49ers blanket. You got to bring your blankie when you come to AT&T in the quote-unquote summer. First ball game as Charlie steps in I ever took in at Candlestick Park, where you got to play, Huey. Told this story before. I'd heard about, yeah, it's cold in the summer there and you got to bundle up. I could not believe it. If there was a down jacket that I could have bought, I would have bought 3 of them. I think I finally quit in the 5th inning and left. Charlie behind 1-2. Blackmon has scored 109 runs, 3rd in the National League. I'll keep the ears warm. Charlie got a fastball and he got the barrel out and drove it to right field. So a leadoff single for Blackmon, the Rockies' 4th hit. Giants have been limited to 3 hits, and that'll bring up Descalso. Strikeout and a fly ball to left field for Descalso. The day after every Rockies win, get 50% off your online order at Papa John's. Use the promo code ROCKSWIN at papajohns.com. Tell you what, in this situation, a bunt is not a bad play. I mean, this game has all the earmarkings of one of those typical AT&T affairs where it's going to be a 1-run game. And Spill, you like that play here?
I do. I like any play that moves base runners over, especially here. You almost have to play baseball here. Remember, win the inning, something that started in spring training. That's how you have to play baseball here. It's never going to be a high-scoring affair. Last night, I think, was an anomaly with the Giants scoring that many runs. But here you have to play small ball.
Yeah, it's like the Rockies when they put a 13-run inning together earlier this year at AT&T. That does not happen very frequently. 1-1. Oh, it's called a strike. It's 0-2.
You always hear arguments about against bunting, and I agree with it, because you don't ever want to give away outs using the bunt. I've made the argument that the only time you should ever do it is first and second, nobody out, because the bunt actually increases your odds of scoring a run. I'm all for running hits, hit and runs, reading a ball in the dirt, taking a chance there, stolen bases if you're good at it.
Were you more keenly aware when a guy had a history of spiking pitches, and maybe by design, a guy, for instance, like Samardzija, who will throw a splitter ahead in the count?
No doubt, you need to understand that, especially here in San Francisco, where the extra base is so important.
Descalso is strikeout number 11 tonight for Jeff Samardzija.
Right fielder, number 5, Carlos Gonzalez.
You see that changeup on the down and away outside part of the plate that Descalso is probably looking to pull and hook that hole. That's just a good pitch call by Posey. He's one of the best in baseball at calling pitches. That's why I've enjoyed always playing against him. You feel like he's always a step ahead of you, and that's something as hitters you want to try to be in front of the pitcher. But when you have a catcher like Buster Posey who can hit, he can flip the script on you.
Cargo takes a strike. He was behind in the count when he launched that double off the very top of the left field wall in the 4th inning.
I had this argument with Nolan weeks ago about catchers that can hit, that they're better pitch callers because they know how to hit and they know what hitters are looking for, versus other catchers. Look, there's catchers in this league that are not the best with the bat. And so the argument has been, for a guy like Buster Posey, 1,000 hits last night, almost a career 300 batting average, he gets hitting a little bit better than most. So he has a better understanding of what messes up a hitter's timing and rhythm more than anybody.
There goes Charlie, and it's fouled off. I was talking to Charlie this afternoon, and I said, how's the body doing? You holding up? You on fumes? And he said he actually feels pretty good. And that, Spilly, you know this from playing the 162 game marathon, that if your body feels good with 4 or 5 days left in the season, you're doing a lot of things right in taking care of yourself. Inside, 2-2.
There's so many things that players have to do to make sure that they keep their body fresh. Sleep is important, drinking water, your eating habits. And sometimes you hear of guys eating so healthy that they forget every now and then it's okay to just pile on some calories. Guys burn a lot of calories throughout the year, but Charlie's just been so good at making sure he keeps his routine, his workout routine, so he's received that 2nd and 3rd win throughout the season.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Carlos Gonzalez. 85th pitch upcoming for the former Notre Dame 2-sport standout. See if Charlie takes off again. That's what Samardzija's thinking.
I think the other thing too for Charlie and his body feeling well this late into the season, was somebody that steals bases and has to die back and forth, that wears you out more than what people I think.
And Charlie hasn't gone nearly as much as he went last year when he stole 43. He's at 17, but to your point, that's still a fair amount.
on a lot of dives back to the bags because he has a reputation as a base stealer.
Sure. Three and two. We'll see if Blackman goes here. Nolan's on deck. He's going, and Cargo hits a ground ball into the vacated area, and Blackman goes to third. So second hit of the night for Cargo. Now the Rockies have something going. First and third, one out, and here comes Nolan Arenado.
And remember this dirt we've talked about, the marine air. Just watch Brandon Crawford as he starts to go after this ball. What happens to his feet? His cleats slip out from underneath him. Samardzich's going to throw his hands in the air, but the feet slip out behind Brandon Crawford, allowing him, one thing, not to reach that ball, but the second thing, letting Charlie go first to third. I mean, nothing Brandon could do. It's not the cleats. It's not because they're not long enough. It's just this moisture in the dirt just doesn't allow it to be able to sit and move back.
Steve Okert has gone down to the bullpen to throw for the Giants, and Nolan with a ground ball to third. There's one on the first double play. That 5-4-3 turn keeps the Rockies from adding on. 1-0, middle of 6. Here's our Kubota pitching performance of the night. Tyler Chatwood has been outstanding thus far. No runs, 3 hits over 5 innings. He hasn't walked a soul. He has struck out 7. Rockies with the precious 1-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It'll be Connor Gillespie, Jeff Samardzich, who is in the on-deck circle, and then Denard Span. And the first pitch is in there for strike 1 on Gillespie. He had a single in the 3rd, is loaning it back.
The last couple innings for Tyler, he's thrown that big curveball. Started off Gillespie with it on the first pitch. Quickly ahead 0-2. Depending on what happens with Gillespie, will make the determination for Bruce Bochy whether Samardzich goes up to hit. He's at 87 pitches right now, which isn't a ton for him.
He went back to that slider down and in.
Stephen Okert again was up last half inning, sat down, ran to the dugout, and then ran back out immediately after the first pitch to Connor. There you go. That boy, Doogie.
Doogie's from up this way in Northern California, so he was prepared for the cold. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Giants were 57 and 33 at the All-Star break, the best mark in baseball. They had a run differential of plus 73 in the first half, which, you know, matches being 24 north of 500. Swung on and missed a breaking ball, strikes out Gillespie. 8 strikeouts now for Chatwood.
Fans, you don't want to miss Fan Appreciation Day at Coors Field this Sunday, October 2nd. You can download the MLB.com ballpark app and check in to win over 100 prizes of Rockies merchandise and autographed items. And the first 15,000 fans will receive a Rockies purple t-shirt. And a reminder about Sunday, it's a 1 o'clock game.
Samardzija grounds out to short. 2 outs. In the second half, the Giants are 26 and 41, worst mark in the National League, second worst mark in baseball. What's interesting, Jeff, is that in the second half, we've talked about this vis-a-vis the Rockies' record this year, where for a while they had a run differential that was on the plus side, yet they have a losing record, and that they were the only team in baseball to make such a claim. Well, in the second half, the Giants are -7, which is indicative of a team somewhere around 500, but they're 15 below 500 in the second half. So many one-run losses in the second half as opposed to the first half. And the high number of blown saves.
I think that's the key, that 30-plus blown saves for the Giants.
Another ground ball to short. Nice pickup, good hands by Christian Adames. A 1-2-3 6th inning for Chatwood, 8 pitches, and he is now retired 11 in a row. We go to the 7th, 1-0 Rockies. Nothing here, the Rockies leading, and it'll be David Dahl in the top of the 7th inning. David's 0 for 2, a fly ball to center field, and he was caught looking at a pitch that he thought was down and in. Parra and Adames to follow against Jeff Samardzija. Top foul by Dahl. Samardzija pitched well. He's had that off-speed, his off-speed arsenal working tonight. Very effective with the splitter. Hasn't thrown a lot of curveballs tonight.
Hasn't needed to with that split finger that he has. We referenced some of the numbers in the last 9 games for Samardzija, 2.40 ERA. That's because he's throwing that splitter more consistently. Prior to that, it's just about 3, maybe 4% of the time, but it's all the way up to over 15% of the time he's throwing that split finger. But he still has enough on the arm to raise the fastball, 93, 95. The problem with Samardzija is he just never was consistent enough. There's never, ever a question about his arm and his ability and how many innings he could pitch.
This is in the air to left center field, and it's going to drop. It's going to be extra bases for David Dahl. He'll have a double. Double last night, a double leading off the 7th tonight.
And his double last night was down and in. He pulled that one to right center field. Now this time, he still goes down and gets it because it is a ball that's down, but he hits his 12th double of the season the opposite way.
Yeah, I'm with you. This shows a guy that can handle different pitches in different parts of the strike zone, doesn't it, Jeff?
It does, because the thing with it, when it's down, your natural tendency is, especially as a left-handed hitter, is, oh, I've got to get there, so I'll start to open up so I get the barrel there. But he doesn't. He stays closed long enough and then just changes the bat path.
And Parra an opportunity.
Has to get him over at the end of this at bat, no matter what happens. He's got to be at third base.
That'll work. How about this base hit? Round third. Here comes the speedy Dahl, and the Rockies have a 2-0 lead. Gerardo Parra coming through. That is a big late RBI for the Rockies in a tight affair here in San Francisco.
And you could tell immediately what he was trying to do. It was just what I was saying. He's got to end up over at third base, but he says, you know, I'll go ahead and drive him in too, because this ball was hit hard right past Brandon Belt. Wanted away. Oh, Taylor back inside. That's tailor made for Gerardo. And with that base hit, first Bochy will have to go get Jeff and then bring in the left-hander to face Christian, the switch hitter. Wow,
2-0 Colorado.
Shark out of the game. Gerardo Parra with the base hit. I want to tell a quick story. Trevor Story and Gerardo Parra obviously tied together because of the injury that Gerardo Parra suffered when Trevor Story ran out to catch the baseball. He's still been trying to get that ankle back in shape, but when I asked him about that play, he has never seen it. He never watched the replay, refuses to watch it because he said it hurts his heart. Guys?
Well, that was it. You know what? I don't blame him for not watching it because it was ugly.
Yeah, and to his point, why would I want to relive something that I've already lived once?
Yes. Steve Okert is the new pitcher for the Giants, 7+ for Samardzija. Parra at first base after knocking in David Dahl. Okert's kind of moved up the pecking order in that Giant bullpen of late.
Well, because he only has 4 walks in 12 2/3 innings for Bruce Bochy.
1 ball, 1 strike on Adames. A couple of strikeouts for Christian. He was batting left-handed against Samardzija.
Hitting right-handed on the year is Christian, 223. Okert fastball, cutter, slider, changeup.
Boy, that second run, so big on a night like tonight at AT&T.
Huge, especially the way that Tyler's thrown the baseball in his last start this year.
Been a thing of beauty, hasn't it?
It has been. 8 strikeouts for Tyler, 6 ground ball outs, couple fly outs.
8 strikeouts matches a season high. This ball's yanked foul.
Well, the other time that Tyler had 8 strikeouts was August 8th against the Rangers when they played at Coors Field.
This is looped to right. It's going to be fouled up. Bullpen area.
Fans, MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service. You can join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices.
Good at bat going here for Adames. Well, the Rockies are getting a great start from Tyler Chatwood. This year, in starter innings pitched, the Rockies are 17th in Major League Baseball, 7th in the National League. What does that mean? Well, I'll tell you what kind of contrast it is. The last 4 years, the Rockies have been dead last in innings pitched by their rotation in the National League. And this year, they're in the middle of the pack in the National League, top half to be exact.
You think of some of the guys out there, and 2 guys in the starting rotation. Of course, Tyler Anderson didn't pitch at all last year. Tyler Chatwood didn't pitch at all last year. John Gray was just getting his feet wet. So there's, I mean, to look at the strides that they've made coming into this year.
That makes it even that much more extraordinary, and it speaks to how good the young talent is in the rotation for the Rockies. When the Rockies get 6+ innings from their starting pitcher, they're 18 games above 500 this year, 53-35.
With a 2.8 ERA.
And they've already achieved that tonight with Chatwood, as he'll come out for the 7th inning. And he's put up a bagel so far. When they get less than 6, they're 20-49.
We won't even mention the ERA. It's not good.
Unsightly. This ball lined to center field. Span will move back and make the catch. And that's the first out of the inning. Parra returns to first, and that'll bring up the catcher, Tony Walters. George Kontos in the Giants' pen. I want to correct something. We did some research today on this Giant ballpark, and one of the great urban myths, I guess, in Major League Baseball circles. This is popped up in the infield. Joe Panik's going to handle it, 2 outs. Was that when they built this ballpark, they forgot the bullpens, and we have advanced that for a number of years. And in doing research, that is just what I said. It's an urban myth, and we heard that from the time the doors opened by people around the organization.
Yeah,
took it as fact. In actuality, the Giants were going to build bullpens and decided they wanted the look of Wrigley Field, where the fans could be as close to the action as possible and as close to the bullpens as possible. They've certainly achieved that.
Yeah, you can almost, when somebody's on that inside mound, it's almost like you could reach out and touch them. They're that close.
Well, that's why I'd always elect to pitch on the outside if I had a choice.
But it's hard, you know, if who's there first? What do they get the choice? Is it the veteran guy gets to decide? I think the left-hander for the Giants would have to be on the one closer to the field, though.
Yeah, get a little greater separation. But on the other side, on the Rocky side, if you're a left-hander, you're going to be on the inside. 2-1 on Chatwood. And a bouncing ball to short. That'll end the inning, but the Rockies get a double from David Dahl, a single from Gerardo Parra. They have a 2-0 lead as we stretch in San Francisco. Here's Arcuni Lexus look back so far. Tyler Chatwood's been the story. He has struck out 8. He gets Hunter Pence there. He has allowed just 3 singles. He has not allowed a base runner since the 3rd inning. Offensively, double by Cargo, single by Nolan, his 130th RBI, 1-0 Colorado. And then last inning, after a double by Dahl, a base hit from Gerardo Parra. And the Rockies have a 2-0 lead. That's Arcuni Lexus look back. Drew Goodman, along with Jeff Houston upstairs, Ryan Spilborgh's downstairs, and he's finally gotten his hot chocolate.
I'm not sure he can even.
And you got just enough whipped cream, Spilly.
Where did I get it?
You're fine. You're fine. You're good.
Yeah.
No, you're good.
A little higher.
You're good.
Yeah.
So good. I love being down here.
Yeah.
I feel like a clown, though.
Well,
do I look like one?
No, you
no,
look
not
perfect.
at all.
Cool.
You look great. Oh, right now you're saying more whipped cream. Yeah.
How much warmer are you now?
I'm plenty warm now. I'm happy, like a clam. Sit here and enjoy the old ball game.
Yeah, you don't need the, you definitely didn't need the top on that. 2-0 on Brandon Belt. It's Belt, Posey, and Pence. So the particularly dangerous part of this San Francisco lineup, and it's 3-0 on Belt. Strikeout and a ground ball to short. 11 straight retired by Chatwood. Rockies do put a shift on for Belt. And the first walk of the ball game from Chatwood. And the Rockies, even before that, had double-barreled action.
Jordan Lyles, the right-hander, Chris Russell, the left-hander. Still, for Tyler, just you had the walk. That hurts, obviously, but you're also third in the National League and getting ground ball double plays. Carlos Martinez is first, and you're third. You're 1.2 every 9 innings pitched.
And that's 5 straight out of the strike zone. Posey has hit the ball in the air twice, once to center and once to right.
Let's see if Tyler might go to a breaking pitch, a slider. It's a different release point. It's been 5 straight fastballs out of the zone. Staying with the fastball.
The fastball was up, fouled straight back.
That was a home run cut for Buster Posey.
Posey 2 for 17 lifetime against Tyler Chatwood. Ground ball to third, not hit particularly hard. There's one on to first, double play. Great turn by Descalso because he had to take the hit from Brandon Belt. 5-4-3, and as you said, one of the great things about Chatwood, when he gets traffic, he has the ability to get 2 outs on 1 pitch.
And this ball was not hit hard, so there are a lot of things had to happen. First, Nolan coming to get it. He does that, gives Daniel a good feed right over the bag. Daniel, with the new rules, has to stay there. But the good thing for him is his footwork is impeccable. Stands on the base, so a lot of the momentum from Brandon Belt is dispersed over the bag. So you don't really have to worry about that guy coming to get you. So the Subaru Supermo looks it in, throws it right in on the money, and then Daniel left foot on the bag, pops back, strong throw, get the cleats out of the ground.
They have to change that rule, Huey.
I agree. It's designed, the rule is designed to you protect the middle infielder, but part of the reason you can protect them is that neighborhood play. Let them get in and get out of there.
That was a great play by Descalso, and then on 3 pitches, Chatwood all fired up. Strikes out Hunter Pence. And the inning, which started conspicuously with the 4-pitch walk, ends abruptly with the Rockies still in front 2-0. Saturday or on Root Sports. It's a Mountain West Showdown, San Jose State. Not exactly in our town, but it's part of our village. Down in Albuquerque, taking on the Lobos of Bob Davie. Coverage begins Saturday at 2 right here on Root Sports. So make sure you join us for that one. Rockies continue to have Lyles and Russin up. But I'll tell you what, last start of the year, 93 pitches for Chatwood. He's going to have all kinds of time to rest.
This season,
I think Walt's going to hang with him for, as long as he reasonably can.
Yeah, his season high is 108, but I would have no problem if he went up to 115, maybe even 117. You don't want him to go 130. I mean, not that crazy with it. But as you mentioned, you're going to have 150 days to rest and start to get strong again.
Slider was in there on Charlie Blackmon. Charlie's 1 for 3. And that fastball is up high. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Steve Okert got the final 3 outs in the 7th. Samardzija goes 7+, 2 runs, 7 hits. Walked just 1, struck out 11. I mean, he pitched very well, but the Giants have been baffled by the work of Tyler Chatwood, and a hard turn at first, but applying the brakes is Charlie Blackmon. Charlie with his 2nd hit, and the Rockies, for the 3rd straight inning, had the leadoff man on.
And this time you definitely have to bunt. You have to get him to second base if you're Daniel to add that one more run, because then you got Cargo and Nolan coming up. Kurt would stay in the game to face Cargo. Hunter Strickland, the right-hander, is up in the Giants bullpen, and he would be for Nolan.
You see Descalso, I bet you offered another one. There's Strickland. The complexion changes when you get to the late innings. That's why Descalso was swinging in the 6th inning after the leadoff single by Blackmon. But here in the 8th, trying to get a 3-run advantage. Play for 1 run as opposed to multi-runs.
Yeah, because now you're playing against the scoreboard. You're going to say, is our 3 runs, if we get that 3rd one, going to hold up to your 6 outs that you have left? That's how you start to play the game late in this contest.
So 2-strike count on Descalso.
Javi Lopez now has also joined Hunter Strickland.
That may be for Cargo,
yeah,
even though you say, well, you got a lefty out there, but Lopez has really had Cargo's number in his career.
Cargo 4 for 25 against Javi.
And that's where September baseball is different than any other time of year, because you have so many lefties down there. There's a strikeout at Descalso. You have the luxury, if you're Bruce Bochy, of selecting which lefty you want to face a superstar like Carlos Gonzalez. Boch hasn't come to the top step yet. Can't imagine any other reason why he would have Lopez up right now. Well, he's going to have Okert face him.
Yeah, Javi's just basically taking a knee down there in the bullpen. And maybe he's thinking it's going to be for David Dahl.
Inside on Cargo, 2 for 3 tonight, a double and a run scored in the 4th, and he singled in the 6th inning. Rockies had runners at first and third, 1 out, but then Nolan hit the first pitch sharply, but right at the third baseman Gillespie, which started a 5-4-3 inning-ending double play. Cargo with another base hit. This is going to be a tweener, and Blackmon's going to go first to third. So Cargo, a 3-hit ball game, and the Rockies, with 1 out, again have runners on the corners for Nolan, and Hunter Strickland will be summoned by Bochy.
Cargo says, well, you're going to leave this young left-hander in to face me? I'll show you. Base hit, first and third, just 1 out.
2-0 Colorado, threatening for more. Back in a moment.
Corner for Nolan Arenado, who's already collected an RBI for his 130th. Not a lot of guys like to hit at AT&T Ballpark, but Nolan Arenado does.
I like playing here. The atmosphere is obviously great. You know, I don't know. I feel like the backdrop is pretty good too. I don't know. It just sounds good when you hit the ball. You know, I don't know. I've hit some good balls, some bombs here, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what the reason is, but I just love playing here. The atmosphere kind of gets me going. There's a motivation to do something special here. You know, they're a great team. You know, it's like the Giants are one of the best teams around, and it's always fun to play against them.
Well, Nolan has an opportunity right now, first and third, with Hunter Strickland now in the game to add to the Rockies' lead. And when you have a guy like Nolan who actually has incredible numbers at AT&T Ballpark, it is nice for the guys from Colorado to see, hey, guys, we can rake at this place. Boys?
Yeah, this ball club and this ballpark last few years has brought out the best in the Rockies. Hunter Strickland, hard-throwing right-hander. First pitch strike to Nolan.
When you know, with a guy that can throw 97, can touch 100 miles an hour, he comes with the first pitch slider. 70 ball games, and things have been so shaky down in their bullpen that he's been asked to close some games, but he also has 5 blown saves on the season. So part of that 30+ that the Giants have had as a club.
Good fastball at 99. This season, career highs in hits is 177. He's 1 away from that. He's 2 away from his career high set just last year in home runs. And he's tied his career high with 130 ribbies. He did that with the base hit in the 4th inning to drive in Cargo. He can eclipse it right now. 2 strikes against Strickland, who throws gasoline. And this is a towering pop-up near the bullpen area. Crawford moving away, and moving up is Cargo. he did tag. Charlie did not. He went down the line about 15 feet because he knew it would be a difficult play. It could drop.
It's one of those rare times that you don't tag at third base.
And that would have been in fair territory, and that's why, I guess, right?
Yeah, exactly right, because of the depth that he went into the outfield. And it wasn't a case where he was going to have to dive, possibly. You knew he was going to stay on his feet, so Charlie got 2 or 3 feet off. If it drops, then he could try to go, but by the time he'd pick it up. But Cargo on the backside, he does the right thing because infielders worry about the guy at third. He tags up, gets into scoring position at second.
Yeah, he knows it's not going to be a play on him. So now David Dahl with 2 outs, 2 in scoring position. Hunter Strickland, one of 7 kids. His dad Ken reached AAA. His dad was a pitcher, a lefty who threw in the upper 90s. From about an hour south of Atlanta. A couple of kids from the southeast facing off here. Strickland from Georgia, David Dahl from Alabama.
For Charlie at third base, what you have to worry about it if he does throw it by or pass, there's brick behind home plate, so that ball can kick really hard back off that brick.
2 new pitchers in the Rockies bullpen. On the right side, it's Carlos Estevez. On the left side, it's Boone Logan. Hey, 2-0 count for David Dahl.
.98-mile-an-hour fastball moved 8 to 10 inches off the plate. This is just a big guy. Just looks imposing on the mound. And that's the same place as the pitch that he just swung at. Look at pitch 3 and 4 on the Subaru strike zone. He swung at pitch 3, recognized pitch 4 that it was going to do the same thing.
And that pitch is outside. So now they're loaded up for Parra.
I don't think he's. Bruce going to leave him in to face Gerardo or go to the left-hander?
I don't know. It looks like he's going to go with Strickland. Parra's 0 for 5 against Strickland. They play into it.
But he's just 2 for 18 against Lopez.
Managers know the numbers, they crunch the numbers, and then they also go with their gut.
I know if I'm Gerardo, I'd rather see the right-hander out there than the tough left-hander in Lopez.
Gerardo drove in a run in the 7th with a base hit. Slider misses. This is where Gerardo, and it's not really his MO, Huey, but he's got to be patiently aggressive, if that makes sense.
Yeah, just make sure that you can get something at minimum that you can elevate in the air to get at least a 1 run in. The last thing you want to do is look at pitch. Oh, excuse me, there's 2 outs, but just to make sure that you can get something to drive.
Well, he got something in the air, but it's playable in right field for Pence. So the Rockies threaten but do not score in the 8th. They have a 2-0 lead. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Rockies 2 and the Giants nothing. Colorado is out, hit San Francisco 9-3 this evening. Brandon Crawford has struck out in both at bats against Tyler Chatwood. He begins the 8th inning with 93 pitches. And the fastball rides high, ball 1. Season high 9 punch outs for Chatwood.
So 7 ground ball outs and a big double play last inning.
Sliders in the dirt, 2-0. He came into the ball game with a 188 road ERA, the best in baseball. And all he's done is improve upon that through 7 innings tonight.
He's also lowered his ERA over the season down to 3.90 with where he's at right now.
2-0, and that's inside, so it's 3-0. This is how he began last inning. He walked Belt on 4 pitches and then got Posey to bounce into a 5-4-3. Struck out Hunter Pence on 3 pitches. Pagan on deck, and he walks Crawford on 4 pitches. You know that Walt, Steve Foster visiting, Tommy Runnels, they want to give Chatwood every opportunity to take care of this himself.
You just see it just a moment ago with Walt clapping his hands, encouraging Tyler.
Pagan, tougher guy to double up. That's fouled off.
It tells you how good Tyler has been pitching tonight, or how well he's been pitching, is that, you know, he walked Brandon Belt on 4 pitches. Buster Posey swung at the first pitch. Same thing with Pagan. He swings at the first pitch after the walk.
Ground ball. This could be 2. He's hit hard enough on the first double play. Once again, Tyler Chatwood inducing a double play after a walk.
Second one tonight. Both of them have been huge. Easy to Daniel, gives a great feed to Christian. Yeah, that's how you get that ball on the ground. You get 2 outs just like that.
A couple guys come to mind in that Rockies young rotation that are real demonstrative on the mound, real fiery, outwardly so. Tyler Chatwood, Tyler Anderson.
You feed off that when a guy gets that excited behind it. Be who you are, and both those guys are. They wear their emotion on their sleeve.
101st pitch, a little low. 1 ball, 1 strike on Joe Panik. A strikeout and a 1 hopper to first.
For Tyler, after that double play, his road ERA is currently sitting at 1.69.
Wow. And a soft line drive to short. That'll end the inning. Almost a carbon copy of how the 7th inning went. 4-pitch walk, double play ball, and then a quick out for the 3rd and final out of the inning. We go to the 9th. The Rockies up 2-0 in San Francisco. Outstanding, in a word. 3-hit shutout through 8 innings, 102 pitches, and Walt comes over, handshake and a hug, which is a general indication, not only telling him great job, but they'll hand it over to the bullpen in the 9th inning. And throwing is Adam Ottavino. Christian Adames is going to lead off against Will Smith in the top of the 9th. Christian 0 for 3 tonight.
A 3.43 ERA for Will Smith at 6 earned runs in his last 17 in the 3rd.
High strike call.
Came over from the Brewers at the trade deadline on July 31st.
And the push bunt goes foul. 2 strikes. Adames, Walters, and looks like we'll get a pinch hitter for Tyler Chatwood. What a performance, man. What a job by Chatwood. You know what? You go into the off season and there's a whole lot to break down. 27 starts for Chatwood as he visits with Latch on the bench. But the most prominent memory is your final memory. And for Tyler, it'll be 8 shutout innings. And they weren't just shutout innings. I mean, they were dominant innings. Season high 9 strikeouts, just 3 measly singles allowed. Nothing after the 3rd inning.
Yeah, 8 ground ball outs to go along with it. A couple double plays, big double plays. ERA on the road below 1.7. So many sparkling numbers for Tyler. And also think about this now. He's going to go into this offseason with 158 innings pitched under his belt. 158 innings after pitching 0 last year.
And again, we discussed this earlier. He got stronger as the year went on. The fastball was more mid-90s his last few starts, and I think he'll pick up right where he left off. On the ground to second, Panic's got it, and Adames is the first out in the 9th. Because you are further removed from, for Tyler, his 2nd Tommy John surgery. First came his sophomore year in high school. 1 out, Walters at the plate. Tony's 1 for 3. Rockies have Boone Logan also throwing, and I think Walt's thinking is that when you get to the top of that order, you see all those lefties. For San Francisco, you have Denard Span, you have Brandon Bell. He's trying to cover all bases. Adam Ottavino, brutal on righties. And against lefties, they have a little more of a chance. Of course, Boone Logan has been lights out against lefties.
I think you're right, Drew. You just want to keep all your options open. This is a game you fought so hard for. You scratch and claw just to get the 2 runs, and Tyler has done his thing. You want to make sure he gets a W to get his 12th win of the season. I mean, a lot of things right now that are positive that you want to make sure that you continue it, you keep it going.
Good swing by Walters, 1 and 2.
And fans, have you planned your holiday party yet? With unique indoor event spaces and views of the snow-capped mountains, Coors Field has a perfect space to celebrate the season. For more information, call 303-ROCKIES.
Walters tried to drop the bat and feigned that he didn't go around, but home plate umpire Mark Wegner was not buying it. So it is a strikeout.
It didn't matter where it was on the Subaru strike zone. That was on the swing, is what Mark Wegner said. Once the bat leaves your hands and travels that far forward, you're not going to get any sort of call.
Tom Murphy's going to pinch hit. Walt likes using Murphy in this role. He likes him in an RBI position, but also 2 outs, nobody on. I mean, Murphy can click one over the fence and add a run in a hurry. Big curveball. Good pitch from Will Smith.
Well, he already has one pinch hit home run this year. 2 for 7 overall as a pinch hitter.
8, 9, and 1 in the bottom of the 9th inning for the Giants. Connor Gillespie, a pinch hitter, and then Denard Span. That's called strike 2. Just bounced. Shows fastball away. 1 and 2. Back to even. Swung on and missed. 1-2-3 inning for Will Smith. We go to the bottom of the 9th. The Rockies trying to close out the Giants. They're up 2-0. They need 3 more outs to shake hands and snap an 8-game road losing streak. Who Wants Tacos? Fans follow at @RootsSports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies Taco Special when the Rockies score 7 or more runs. And it will be Boone Logan first out of the bullpen in the 9th inning, with the left-handed hitting Connor Gillespie scheduled, and he's been called back. It'll be Kelby Tomlinson pinch hitting. Tomlinson, one of several right-handed bats available to Bruce Bochy on his bench.
Tomlinson 6 for 16 pinch hitting.
Gorkys Hernandez is in the on-deck circle. And Another right-handed bat. Again, it's 8-9-1 for the Giants. First pitch from Logan misses, ball 1. And it's 2-0. Boone in his last outing struggled against the Dodgers, gave up 5 runs, a couple of home runs. He walked 4. But overall, it's been a strong year for Boone Logan.
He's been able to get right-handers and left-handers out.
The Giants this year in the 9th inning have blown 9, lost 9 times, blown games where they held the lead going to the 9th, and conversely, when they trail going to the 9th, they are 0-61 this year. Rockies trying to make them 0-62. They're the only National League team without a win when trailing go to the 9th. Tomlinson, a product of Texas Tech, is ahead in the count, 3-1.
Left-handers getting 135 against Boone. Right-handers just 200.
This is in the air to fairly deep left center field. Dahl can't make the catch. And Tomlinson has a leadoff double. That's the first hit for the Giants since a leadoff single by Gillespie in the 3rd inning.
Boone fell behind 3-1 and then had to come in with the fastball, and he came up in the strike zone. Toby Tomlinson hammered this ball that was up just above the belt, below the letters. He connects everything with that over the head of David in left field. Hernandez hitting .283 with a couple home runs, 4 RBIs in 23 games.
Once you commit to Boone Logan in this inning, it's not as if it was a surprise that there were going to be 2 pinch hitters from the right side. But you've committed to him to get you, if it goes to Belt, to get you through Belt. Obviously, you hope it doesn't go any farther than that. And then you go to Ottavino, strike 1. But again, once you committed to it, you knew at the very least it's 4 hitters. And again, in a perfect scenario, you see 3 hitters and you're shaking hands.
But you knew you were going to get 2 of them with the expanded benches. You're going to get 2 right-handed bats before you got to Span and Belt.
1-1. And if you say, well, why don't you go the other way? Well, then if it gets beyond Belt, you know, if you have Ottavino go after the first 2, then you're not going to see a pinch hitter. It's going to be Gillespie initially. And then you'll see another left-handed pinch hitter. And then if you did want to switch it out, after Belt, you have Posey and Pence. Arguably their 2 best hitters from the right side. And you'd still have Boone Logan out there. Good pitch. So Boone comes back and with a hard slider strikes out Hernandez. 1 out. And now it swings in favor of this move that Walt made because you have 2 lefties coming up, first with Span.
And this was key for Boone to get the first pitch with the slider, first pitch to Hernandez, slider, strike 1, and then strike him out with the slider. Denard Span this year, .219 against left-handers compared to .282 against righties.
And that's all the work you do in preparation through Walt and Tommy Runnels. And Span is 1 for 6 lifetime against Logan. Bell on deck is 1 for 7. Sliders in the dirt.
But now all those numbers, it's up to Boone to make those numbers what they are. Finish these guys off and go out and shake hands.
Chatwood did his job and then some. 8 shutout innings for Tyler Chatwood tonight. Just 3 hits. He walked 2. He struck out a season-high 9. And only 102 pitches. Here's the 1-0. Great pitch. 1-1.
The 2017 suite packages are now available. You can reserve your opening day suite with the purchase of a suite 10-pack. Call today for more information.
Tampa native Denard Span at the plate. Here's the 1-1, and that's pop foul. It's out of play. 1-2. Tony Walter's going to go out and visit with Boone Logan. In many ways, this has been Logan's best year in the big leagues. He's had a lot of fine seasons.
Definitely the most consistent in his 3 years with Colorado, but it's all commanding those 2 pitches. A fastball that we see still some life on it, 94 at times, but the slider, that has been the key this year for Boone.
Got him on a slider, 2 outs. 1 out away now for Boone Logan.
Struck out Yorkis Hernandez with the slider, the right-hander, and now he goes to the slider again. Down in the dirt for strike 2 of this inning, for second out of this inning, excuse me, and Tyler Chatwood cheering him on.
So Brandon Belt, as you see, 1 for 7, 2 strikeouts against Boone Logan. Still a scary guy because he's got a lot of pop, 16 home runs. And amazingly, the 16 home runs leads the San Francisco Giants. That is a low number to lead a team here in the final days of a season. In fact, it's the lowest number in baseball for a team leader. Beltran, who's no longer with the Yankees, still leads the Yankees. He's now with Texas. He has 22. McCutchen 24, leading the Pirates. Maikel Franco 25. Murphy 25 for Washington. Here we go. And it's sharply hit. Nice play by Parra. He needs help, and Logan was late getting there. Great play by Gerardo Parra. And Boone broke late, and it cost him the 27th out. And now with Posey coming up, Walt will bring in Ottavino almost assuredly.
He taught as a pitcher, ball to the right side, I've got to get over. And he didn't. Watch this, ball's hit, he waits, and just that half second not getting over allows Brandon Belt to reach on the infield single. By the time you decide to go, it's too late. And now the tying run's on base, and you bring in the winning run to the plate and Buster Posey.
Adam Ottavino will look to get the last out when we come back. He's 3 for 15 lifetime against Ottavino. Runners at first and third. It's the first time the Giants have had a runner at third this year. What you really need to know, amid all those numbers, Adam Ottavino is allowing righties to hit 132. Belt's been removed. Gregor Blanco's running for him at first, representing the tying run.
Adam, 30 strikeouts in his 24 2/3 inning, looking for his 6th save of the season.
So Posey, who's 0 for 3 tonight, 2 outs and 2 on. Another sellout crowd, and they're all standing. Slider, strike one. Wiffle ball slider.
And a great start from Adam. A couple times down in LA on Sunday, had trouble commanding the slider, and that was the pitch that Corey Seager had hit out. But that was the knee buckling slider. Outfielders have really moved back for Colorado. They're playing the no doubles.
Walters on the outside corner, and the fastball at 96 is high. Kelby Tomlinson led the inning off with a double. Ball game really should be over. Parra made a nice play. I'm sure Boone is kicking himself for hesitating going over. The 1-1 and a good pickup on a 97-mile-an-hour fastball by Walters.
Tony quick behind the plate. Had to be quick on this one to reach, pick it, and then check the runners.
Goes by him. You're talking about a 2-1 game and tying run at second.
All Tyler can do is sit and watch.
Great slider, but it was off the plate evidently, and it's 3-1.
Buster laying off this slider. So hard to do. That's why he's been so good in this league for a long time. Most guys would have swung at that.
You don't want to see him. 3-1. Great pitch there. No question that was in there. 3-2. And that's your pitch. I mean, if you're Adam Ottavino, that line that is so frequently repeated late in the game, you don't want to get beat with your second best pitch.
Chance with
it's not like a 96, 97 mile an hour fastball is a bad pitch, but see if Ottavino goes to his bread and butter. That's the slider. 3-2 on Posey. Foul tip.
Just barely, but he went to the fastball.
I'll tell you what was interesting about that is usually you see guys swing underneath the fastball. He swung over the top of this fastball. That's how much movement it had.
Just got enough of it, about the top quarter of the baseball, to foul it off at home. Now what do you go to? You go back to the fastball, you go slider. Let's see what Tony calls for. He called for the slider.
Slider.
Yeah, shook from the fastball to the slider.
3-2. Posey covered it.
Well, with the outfielders too playing as deep as they are, the 3-2 count with Blanco, he was almost all the way to second base, and that ball was fouled off. So you got to know if it somehow it's hit to your right or left, get that ball back in. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's hope it's a strikeout or something. But with his wheels, you got to be conscious of him motoring all the way home.
Three-two, slider, ground ball to third. Nolan's got it, takes his time, ball game over. Adam Ottavino gets Posey. Rockies have beaten the Giants 2-0. What a performance by Tyler Chatwood. And Ottavino wins the battle with Posey for his 6th save of the year. It's the 3rd time this season the Rockies have shut out the Giants. It's their 9th shutout overall, which is 2nd most in club history. They had a dozen shutouts back in 2010. Chatwood the win. He'll finish his season at 12-9. Jeff Samardzija takes the loss. He's 12-11. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. The work tonight of Tyler Chatwood. 8 shutout innings. He allowed just 3 singles, didn't allow anything after the 3rd inning. And he struck out a season-high 9, walked just 2.